Now, we've talked about what's wrong with the Democratic Party till we're blue in the face. Ironically. But it's gotten so bad for the Democratic Party that even mainstream news people can see through it. I'm not kidding. Even knuckleheads on MSNBC are now occasionally being able to see the problem in the Democratic Party. Here's Mika, because what we've been talking about is the Democrats having these resistance, and we call it Mick resistance, right? Because what should be being resisted is corporatism, which is what gave us Trump. Trump didn't fucking take us to Iraq. Trump didn't pass NAFTA. Trump didn't give us a shitty right-wing healthcare bill yet. Trump didn't bail out the banks and screw the homeowners. Trump didn't repeal Glass-Steagall. Trump didn't piss on our leg and tell us it's raining. That we got here because of Trump didn't take 2 wars and expand them to 7. Trump didn't make the banks bigger. Trump didn't fail to regulate Wall. Trump didn't do any. We're here not because of Trump. He is a symptom of the problem. And now, even news people are starting to notice. So when we have those weekend marches, we're going to have a march against Trump. We're going to have a march to demand impeachment. So those are marches for nothing. Those are marches for absolutely nothing. Hey, maybe you make the march about single payer.
Yes.
Maybe you make the march about a march about a living wage. Maybe you make the march about ending the fucking wars and investing that money back at home. Maybe you make the march about breaking up the big banks and regulating Wall Street. Maybe you make the march about having a fucking jobs program instead of a war program. That's our jobs program. Mm-hmm. You know, just how ISIS gets the most desperate poor people to join them? Guess who else does that? The United States. We bankrupted our cities, and now we go into them and say, you want to go to college? It's going to cost you $1 million. Unless you go kill some poor brown people in another country for the oil companies, then we'll send you to college. Oh, it sounds pretty much like what ISIS says. Are you desperate? We'll take care of you. That's what the United States does. You're desperate, don't have a job, can't afford college? Come kill some people for us. Okay. Sounds just like ISIS, doesn't it? Yeah. I don't know how I got off on that. But here is Mika Brzezinski. She even sees through the Democrats. Here we go.
I mean, what is this? Are we on month 6 of this presidency and they have the power in Congress? So after all the marches, all the money spent, and after nothing being accomplished in Washington, I mean, really, the stage was set for the Democrats to get something done. And it really just shows how much the Democrats still, how much work needs to be done to rebuild the party.
What do you think of that?
I think the things you're saying about like how ISIS recruits and how we do that with poor people here, that's what street gangs do.
Yep.
Street gangs do the same thing. You have no opportunity. Nobody will protect you. And in the rural parts of America, that's what the white supremacists and KKK does.
Right.
They go to poor white people and say, hey, no one's got your back. The KKK does, and it's very easy to go, that's what they all do. ISIS all, and then that group over there, that group over there, they're the problem. And all the Democrats have to do is go, hey, working people, we're going to be there for you. Here's why. Enlist single payer, affordable wage. How about college tuition for everybody? How about no more war? How about we don't want your kids to come back in flag draped coffins or prosthetics or PTSD? We want to be there for you. I want your children to have drinkable water and a good education. Nope. They just come back. So even a corporate reporter on MSNBC can go, wow, they really need to change stuff.
Even worse than that, Graham. Here's a corporate Democrat, and even he's seeing some of the light. And it happened on MSNBC. Here's Chris Murphy from Connecticut.
You know, Senator Harold Ford was talking a little bit earlier about what Democrats need to do to win elections in states like Georgia and places across the South and the Midwest. It's kind of reflective of the conversation we had after the presidential election back in November, which is that the progressive wing of the Democratic Party said we need to be more progressive. And we heard that last night and again this morning from groups like MoveOn.org. The lesson was that John Ossoff was too moderate. Do you think running for office right now in this climate as a Democrat means you ought to be more progressive or more moderate?
Now, to me, that's a no-brainer, right? Well, I don't know. We just lost 1,000 seats with corporate Democrats across the country, and we're wiped out. Our 70% of governorships we lost. We lost the House. We lost the Senate. We lost the White House to a frickin' game show host with the most qualified neoliberal corporatist candidate ever. Who picked a right-winger as a vice president. And the guy she had to cheat to beat in the primary was filling 70,000 people at stadiums. I wonder what we should do. The most popular politician in the country is Bernie Sanders, 80% approval inside the Democratic Party. By far, the next politician that's even close to him is 30 points lower. Should we get more conservative? I don't know. Willie Geist, not sure. Willie Geist getting paid $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a day to be not sure.
Well, you know what? He is kind of sure about one thing. He wants to call it a moderate was running. You know, that's also corporate speak
that's
right
now. That's not a moderate. Yeah, Hillary Clinton isn't a moderate. Hillary Clinton was a fucking neoliberal, corporatist, warmongering, screwing workers. That's who she was, a former Walmart board member. That's who she was. She exploded the black prison population, called them super predators. She had racist policies. She had corporatist policies. She had anti-worker policies. She has anti-black policies, anti-Hispanic policies. She has anti-every fucking thing policy. She's not a moderate. Exactly right, Steph. Those are not fucking moderates. Those, hey, you know what? I love what Kyle Kalinske says. If you're against free college and single payer health care, maybe you're the radical.
She's a pro-choice right-winger. That's it. That's the only thing that her and the Democratic Party have got. They've got we're for gay marriage, and we're pro-choice, and we're also pro-war and pro-banking and pro-screwing over the working people,
and fracking,
and pro.
Never met a war we didn't like.
Yeah, and they're not.
So here's Chris Murphy's answer. This surprised me that he said this.
I think what it means is the Democrats have to be hyper-focused on an economic message that tells people that the Republican Party is all about economic growth for millionaires and billionaires, and the Democratic Party is about economic growth for everybody. And I think Robert Costa is right. The fact that we have spent so much time talking about Russia has been a distraction from what should be the clear contrast between Democrats and the Trump agenda, which is on economics. You know, when I'm back in Connecticut, I often get on a commuter bus and ride it for just an hour to talk to folks, that frankly don't normally call my office or write my office. And I'll just say they are never talking about issues like Russia. They are not talking, frankly, about what's on cable news at night. They are talking about the same things: wages. They're talking about education. They're talking about public safety. And so I think Democrats have to be hyper-focused on an economic contrast. And I think this.
Get that Kremlin puppet off the goddamn TV, for the love of God.
Oh, I bet that guy's going to go have a plate of pasta putinesca.
Dos vidania, comrade.
What do you think about that? So finally, I was a year ahead of them. Finally, the Democrats are coming around to, hey, maybe this Russia thing, this strategy of distracting everybody to talk about Russia isn't working. Turns out hating Trump isn't going to win elections for us. We thought it would. We were wrong again. How is it a nightclub jagoff fucking comedian has been right about this for over a year? And the smarty pants motherfuckers whose whole job it is to do this. It's not my job. My job is to do dick jokes in a fucking nightclub to drunks. This guy's wearing a fucking $1,000 suit. All his friends are millionaires. This is all they do for every day, 24/7, is politics. And they're fine. Hey, maybe, let's see. We're completely wiped out as a party. Maybe we should do something.
But you know what, Jimmy, even with him saying this, Senator Murphy saying that, the Democrats have to work on getting their message out. My problem is he didn't even say what the message was now.
You're exactly 100% right. So he
doesn't know the message.
He's only halfway there. So his message is, we're still not Trump, but we got to talk about the economy more and how we're going to be better than Trump's economy. Okay, how?
Programs, please.
$15 minimum wage, free college, Green New Deal. Solar and wind now cheaper than even fracking. Solar and wind cheaper than oil, cheaper than coal, cheaper than fracking. Where's our Green New Deal? Where's our vision in America? Nothing. Where's our re-regulating the banks? Where are we going to break up the banks? Where's that at? No, nothing. Where's the ending the wars and reinvesting that money in infrastructure? No. So he's halfway there. He realizes that what they've been doing, he's admitting that the Russia thing is a distraction. So that didn't come out of nowhere. He knows that it's a distraction. It's a fucking concocted distraction, and it was concocted by John Podesta in his goddamn Brooklyn office. It was concocted. Concocted, and it's fucking being promoted by the establishment media as Chomsky has taught us. None of these motherfuckers read Chomsky, apparently. None of them. Nobody at the Washington Post or the New York Times or MSNBC or CNN. Nobody's read Manufacturing Consent because they don't know that's what they're fucking doing every day. They do know they're paid handsomely to do it, and that's why they do it. And Chris Murphy and all the Democrats are also paid handsomely to not understand a problem. So here's a guy only halfway understanding it. Hey, maybe we should think of something else to talk about because Russia's not winning. Here's Robert Costa. Now, here's the Washington Post. By the way, it's just hilarious. This guy, he looks like he's 18 years old to me. I don't know how old he is. Maybe he's 32. I don't know. Maybe let's look it up. How old is fucking Robert Costa? But it's just funny. Every time he comes on TV, he looks like he's worried he's going to say something stupid. And he often does. I have clips of him saying that Chris Christie's going to be the steadying hand in the Trump campaign. He literally said that. So, I'm sure he's a nice guy. I got nothing against Robert Costa, right? He hasn't written a smear piece on me yet, but he will if he's ordered to, because that's what they do. And but listen to what he says. This is fantastic. Listen to what he says.
I just wanted to say one other takeaway as I leave Atlanta is the Russia issue and President Trump's handling of these investigations as special counsel. When I'm in Washington, that's a consuming issue for Democrats. It alarms even some Republicans. On the ground in Georgia, moderate suburban Republicans were not talking about Russia. So if Democrats want to win them over, they perhaps have to listen to Congressman Ford, who's talking about this economic message, because I just don't see Russia breaking through yet with Republican voters as an issue that's going to turn them to the left.
All right.
I'm gonna play that again.
Quick, I just wanted to say one other takeaway as I leave Atlanta is the Russia issue and President Trump's handling of these investigations as special counsel. When I'm in Washington, that's a consuming issue for Democrats. It alarms even some Republicans. On the ground in Georgia, moderate suburban Republicans were not talking about Russia. So if Democrats want to win them over, they perhaps have to listen to Congressman Ford, who's talking about this economic message, because I just don't see Russia breaking through yet with Republican voters as an issue that's going to turn them to the left.
What scares me is he just said breaking through. So some dumbass Democrat's going to hear that and go, well, what do we got to do to get it to break through? Versus, oh, shit, maybe we should talk about real issues that people care about.
You mean like maybe the Democrats are completely out of touch with people? Is that it? And their needs? Oh, go figure. How many elections do they need to lose for them to figure it out? And I think at some point they're doing it on purpose.
Yes, they are. And we've been mocked everywhere. People like me, people like Michael Tracy, people like Jordan Sheraton. We've been mocked everywhere, right? Even at our home news station, we've been mocked. And now for us saying that this Russia story is a distraction, that the Democrats are doing this on purpose. What's the point of this? Why can't we investigate Trump and talk? We've been made fun of and dismissed and diminished and mocked for this. And now here we are 8 months after the goddamn election, and it's the same bullshit. We don't have any evidence. We don't know what we're talking about. And it turns out nobody gives a shit about Russia. Turns out no one cares. Because guess what? People have problems. Oh, but I thought if we papered over it again with some bullshit, it would work. Like no. And the Democrats, like Graham says, they are backed themselves into a corner. They're incapable of change. They're not going to change. That's why I'm draft Bernie. And, I'm all for the Justice Democrats for primarying corporate Democrats. But I just wish they would primary. I think it would be better if you did it like with an independent party. Fuck the Democrats. Fuck them hard.
Yeah.
Hey, the next live Jimmy Dore show is July 17th. That's right, July 17th. That's a Monday in Burbank, California. Get your tickets right down here or go to jimmydorecomedy.com. July 17th, Burbank, California, live Jimmy Dore show.